Well, in June of 2023, the Supreme Court passed a ruling that expanded personal jurisdiction over businesses.
My faith rising. I'm crawling out the trenches, holding me. My life is.
Hello, visionaries. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Marisa Talbert. I'm the founder and CEO of Talbert Law Office, your favorite go-to legal resource for all things business, nonprofit, and intellectual property law. So today, I want to talk about a recently passed Supreme Court ruling that will affect all business owners. I'm going to take you back to my first year of law school on this one, but just bear with me. I'm going to keep this as short as possible to get the point across effectively. So we won't delay. Let's jump right into it. In the first year of law school, we learn about two concepts, one being personal jurisdiction and the other being subject matter jurisdiction. Personal jurisdiction is a legal concept that refers to the power of the court to make a decision regarding the party being sued in a particular case. For example, I'm a California-based attorney. I have never served a client that lived in Michigan. I don't own property in Michigan. I haven't engaged in business in Michigan. I don't target Michigan residents for my legal services. I've never even signed a contract based on the laws of Michigan. I have no nexus or no connection with the state of Michigan. So a court in the state of Michigan has no personal jurisdiction over me. Does that make sense? There is also what is known as subject matter jurisdiction. Similarly, that refers to the power of the court to make a decision regarding the subject matter of the dispute or the case. For example, federal trademarks are governed by federal law. So if I need to bring a federal trademark infringement lawsuit into a court, I cannot bring it into a state court. I have to bring it into a federal court. A state court does not have subject matter jurisdiction over federal trademark law. You following me? Okay, let's keep going. So why do I start out by explaining personal and subject matter jurisdiction? And how does that relate to business owners? Well, traditionally, in order for a business to be sued in a particular state, that business would need to have a sufficient connection within that state to be called into court. And in order for the court to have personal jurisdiction over the business. Now, a sufficient connection for a business was either one of the following: the home state of the company or the place where the company was incorporated, the company's principal place of business, or the place where the company solicits or serves the state's residents. For example, a Delaware corporation that has a principal place of business in New York can be sued in either Delaware or New York for any matter that arose regarding or related to the business, regardless of where the dispute takes place. So what's changed? Well, in June of 2023, the Supreme Court passed a ruling that expanded personal jurisdiction over businesses. In this particular case, a Virginia resident sued a Virginia-based business in the courts of Pennsylvania for being exposed to toxic chemicals in the states of Virginia and Ohio. Are you tracking that? Okay, so if you are tracking what I said about personal jurisdiction, your mind should be saying, where does Pennsylvania come in? Because if a Virginia resident sued a Virginia-based company for being harmed in Virginia and Ohio, shouldn't the lawsuit be brought in Virginia? Okay, keep following me. Traditionally, Pennsylvania would never be a part of this equation. However, as you know, in order for any business entity to conduct business in a state outside of its state of incorporation, it must register to do business and appoint a registered agent in any other state where the business operates. And this is a requirement in every state across the board. In particular, Pennsylvania law requires that all out-of-state companies that conduct business in their state not only register to do business within the state, but also as a condition of that registration, that business consents to the personal jurisdiction of the courts of Pennsylvania. So this Virginia company was incorporated in Virginia, but was also registered to do business in the state of Pennsylvania, and therefore had consented to the personal jurisdiction within the courts of Pennsylvania and was able to be sued in the state of Pennsylvania. So let's tie this all together and wrap it up with a bow. If you followed me for any length of time, you know that I am against the trend of incorporating your business in a state where you don't plan to operate. The social media mantra tells you to register your business in Delaware, Wyoming, Nevada, and these other anonymity states for various benefits. However, my response has always been, number one, most small businesses are not generating enough in annual revenue to even experience the tax benefits that are associated with registering in those types of states. And number two, incorporating your business in a state where you're not operating subjects you to the laws of both the state where you're operating and the state where you're incorporated. So, where some courts were split on whether they would exercise that personal jurisdiction over businesses that seemingly have no connection to their state, the Supreme Court has now laid down the law of the land. It's official, at least for now, that if you are registered to conduct business in a particular state, you can also be sued there, even if it's not your company's home state or state of incorporation, even if it's not your company's principal place of business, and even if you do not solicit to or serve that state's residents. My advice to all business owners would be don't be so quick to try to conduct business in multiple states, unless it's worth it. Be aware that based on this ruling, you can be sued in every state where you are registered, not just where you operate. Well, that's all I have for this video. Of course, I look forward to your feedback in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, this is Talbert Law Office, your favorite go-to legal resource for all things business, nonprofit, and intellectual property law. I'll see you in the next video.